Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, a new 70,000 square foot medical center is coming to the Summerlin area, and a new display in City Hall provides a history lesson about those who served on the Las Vegas City Council. Here to discuss these topics and a whole lot more is the councilwoman who represents Ward 2. You know who it is. It's Victoria Seaman. Councilwoman, welcome back to the program. How are you?
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's good to see you again. We're into November. A lot going on in Ward 2, which we're going to get into today. So hard to believe that we are almost at the end of 2021. Where has this year gone?
I know.
I know, but such is life, right?
Yep.
Well, you know Ward 2 very well, and I do too. That's where we both live. But for those of you not exactly sure where Ward 2 is located, well, don't worry. We're going to show you right there on the map. This is the current location of Ward 2. Now, we should let everyone know the boundaries are going to be changing slightly here, Councilwoman, because we've been working on redistricting. The council's going to be voting on that very shortly in December, looking to finally approve the new map. The reason being that the idea is that we try to keep the population numbers the same or around the same in each ward. And Ward 6 always is growing a lot. Your ward is growing a lot.
My ward is growing a lot.
And so it throws off the numbers. And so all of a sudden you guys have a lot more population if we don't redraw the lines than the other wards. And the idea is that everyone gets the same representation.
Absolutely. And
access.
Ward 2 isn't changing too much. It is changing, but not a whole lot.
Yeah. So we will keep everybody posted on what that new map will look like and the new maps across the city.
They can look at it now, right?
They surely can. It's on our website at lasvegasnevada.gov. If you go on there and look, search redistricting, you'll be able to see what the new boundaries are going to look like. And again, the city council scheduled in December to have a final vote on what those new lines will look like. So stay tuned. But Councilwoman, very busy, and I know you're excited. During the recession, business was tenuous, and we all kind of held our breath as to what the future was going to hold, especially for business. So we love when things like this happen. You posted this on Facebook. You said, I want to thank Scott Goldstein with Prospect Street Development and Dr. Mike Crevetti of Crevetti Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for inviting me to be part of the groundbreaking for their new beautiful medical building. It will be a fantastic addition to Ward 2. And this is going to be, you can see a rendition there next to you.
Beautiful.
But this is going to be quite a facility.
Absolutely beautiful and needed, because we are growing exponentially in Ward 2. And I think we really need this medical center. Now, this is on a piece of land that is actually just a barren piece of land for, I don't know how, forever. So I'm really excited that we're going to be building in that area and that this medical center is coming. Because again, when your area is growing, you need medical.
Well, and I think all of us have experienced the fact that in this day and age, getting in to see a doctor can be tough sometimes.
It's been tough.
You have to wait sometimes a long while to get an appointment, to have that access. And so anytime there are new facilities, that hopefully will give all of us more access to the medical care we need.
We really need it.
So, well, welcome to the neighborhood, Dr. Crevetti and crew, and we look forward to you opening the doors for your new facility right out there.
And it's right down from the hospital, so it's kind of in a perfect location.
Yeah, in that medical area of Ward 2. Perfect. And then, Councilwoman, speaking of celebrating some great things, you did this at City Council. You had our Olympians from the Sandpipers swim team who went on to be stars on the U.S. Olympic swim team. You honored them at our City Council meeting back on October 20th.
Well, we were so proud of them. They made it to the Olympics, and 3 out of 4 got medals.
Yeah, they sure did.
And the mayor was so generous to give them a key to the city.
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited about that.
A big deal. Now, that's Katie Grimes right there. 15-year-old Katie Grimes made the U.S. swim team, the Olympic swim team. She's a member of the Sandpiper Swim Club. They train out in Ward 2 at the Veterans Memorial Pool there, a Pavilion Center pool, which is right next to Veterans Memorial Community Center, Leisure Service Center. But we also honored Bella Sims. She was there in person. And then Erica Sullivan and Bo Becker were also members of the team. They weren't able to attend because they were in college.
Right.
But the other girls are still young enough and that they're in high school. So
They have a bright future
they
ahead
surely
of
do.
them.
And so does the U.S. Olympic swim team. We've got people that young; they're already qualifying to go to the Olympics.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. And then also at that same meeting, someone who I know that you've known for a long time, Onofrio Zakari, known as Nono Zakari, was celebrated. Folks, he's a 98-year-old who finally, what, Councilwoman, after
yes.
77 years, got his Purple Heart from World War II. An
Thanks
incredible
to the
story.
mayor.
Yeah.
The mayor really took the lead on that with one of her prior staff members, Zach, and we're able to get that Purple Heart for him, and so proud of him. He's a funny man. When I was running for office, I knocked on his door and I wasn't able to leave until he fed me meatballs. So he's just a great guy.
Yes, he's originally from New York State, served in World War II, and he was at the D-Day invasion. And how the whole Purple Heart story goes is that he was wounded on the day of the
That's
attack
correct.
on June 6, 1944. The medic who treated him for his wound was killed in the battle.
Right.
So there was no record for a long time that Nono had actually been injured in the battle. So it took many years and a lot of work.
Many?
But
77 years.
But you can see finally the general is there, a one-star general, to present him with that Purple Heart. And again, many years.
Many thanks to the mayor for making this happen, and we got to have it presented to him right at the city council meeting.
A big deal.
Yeah, and so it's well deserved. 78. Thank God he's living so long that he was able to receive a well-deserved award.
You know, Councilwoman, that's a great point. Thanks to his longevity, he was able to see the medal come to him that he'd really earned many, many years before.
Because many of these soldiers have the family, is honored with it. I am just so grateful he was honored with it.
It's a big deal. And you know, he had quite a record. Not only was he at D-Day, but he also survived the Battle of the Bulge as well. So he
Amazing man.
Yeah. And 98 years later, he's still with us, and we were able to recognize him at council. It's a big deal. So he was an instant celebrity too. Everyone that day wanted to get their picture
That's
with
right.
Nono, and
That's right.
he was really he quipped about that. It's like, boy, I must be the guest of honor here or something. Everybody wants to get their picture.
Very
with him, so,
humble guy.
yeah, good stuff. So, Councilwoman, also speaking of our council chambers, right outside, something new. You had a big hand in this, but we've now got a display on the wall that kind of helps mark Las Vegas's history. We'd never had any of this before, but these are all of the council members going back to when the city first had council members. They were called the city commissioners way back in 1911 through today.
There were people on that wall that I know them, I didn't know they had served so many years ago. So this is great. I'd like to, we'd love to have teachers bring their students in. It's a great history lesson, and it's an exciting project. And it looks beautiful right outside the chambers.
Yeah. The city, of course, was founded in 1905. I think everyone's aware of that. The city wasn't incorporated officially until 1911, so that's when there was the creation of the mayor's office, and then what they called at the time the city commission. And so this is a history and photos going back all the way from Mayor Buell. He was the first mayor of Las Vegas in 1911 through today. Now, Councilman, we don't have pictures of everyone over the years, but we do commemorate their names. So if we don't have a picture, we at least have their name.
And time served.
The
time they served. And I just want to thank my chief of staff and a lot of interns and all the people who worked on that, because they had to do a lot of research in finding all those photographs. So thanks to everyone who participated.
People love that stuff because inside chambers, there's a display of U.S. presidents from Washington all the way to current times.
Right.
That was donated by Southwest Gas to the city. So in chambers, you can get a history of the presidents. Outside of chambers, you can get a history of the city council.
That's right.
So,
they have this at the state legislature as well.
That's what you were saying.
And a lot of schools have their classrooms come and see the history of the legislature. So now we have that, and it really looks lovely.
It does. It does. A nice addition to City Hall. So again, it's on the second floor of City Hall, right outside of Council Chambers. I think if you come to City Hall, you're here for any reason, you want to go and check it out. It's pretty cool. Councilwoman, recently you did a ride along with code enforcement, our code enforcement team, and I think, that's good for you because those folks go out and do a lot of things, and you had an
Yeah, I
opportunity.
kind of wanted to see what they do.
Yeah,
and,
what's their job all about?
They really care about public safety. They really care about the neighborhoods. And, we found a brick wall that was torn down and there were blocks all over the sidewalk. This is really important that code enforcement goes out and checks out the neighborhoods to see what needs to be done. And so I was happy to ride along with them.
There's a lot of misconception about what code enforcement is all about, and I think people think, oh, it's the city coming with a hammer to come and write me a ticket. But really, the goal is to get folks to be in compliance with the code.
In compliance, and there's a reason for that. Public safety is number one, and when you see that brick fence out there, brick wall, you'll see blocks all over the ground, and it's very dangerous when people are walking by. So I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah, and I think the idea is to work with the property owner to get the problem corrected, not to try to write him a ticket right off the bat.
Absolutely, yeah.
And again, that's, I think, some of the misconception about what code enforcement's like. Oh no, they're here to cite me. Well, no, they're there to try to explain needs to be taken care of or that needs to be taken care of. But writing the ticket's not the goal. Trying to get everything, as you said, safe.
In compliance and keep it safe.
Yeah.
And we know that public safety is the most important issue to our constituents.
Exactly.
And that's what we'll continue to do, is make sure that we go out and we make sure that people will be safe.
Yeah. Well, good for you. For council members to understand what staff is doing, to see it firsthand, it's a great lesson.
It is.
You can talk about it in theory, but when you get out and actually see it, it's sometimes different than what you're thinking. So,
absolutely.
So good for you. Good for you for getting out with them. And then, love this, Councilwoman. You posted this on Facebook. You said, it was great to join my friends at the Las Vegas Korean Association for their Hangul Day event at Ansan Park. Our Korean association here in town, very active.
Very, very active. And that is our sister city park.
Yeah.
And they just love to have events there, and they're very active in the community.
Yeah, they really are. Hangul Day, if you didn't know, celebrates the Korean alphabet, the creation of it, and which is a big deal. It's an ancient alphabet, but what's even more interesting is that the ruler of Korea at the time wanted to make sure that literacy was spread farther across his population. So that was pretty progressive for the time. Yeah.
It really was.
So, and again, celebrating their alphabet and, of course, the ability for people to be able to read. And, of course, that's the key to education right off the bat. So,
certainly is.
Yeah. Big event out there that day.
It was huge.
Yeah.
All of their events are well attended.
Yeah, that took place on October 9th, by the way. So that is the commemoration done each year. And speaking of honoring people, you were part of a nice honoree event to honor honoree Kitty Heck, right?
Yes.
Resident in your ward, business owner in your ward, right? Yeah.
Yes, she owns Chinglish with her husband, Ken. And she was an honoree at the Distinction of Women Awards and invited me as the councilwoman to go with them. And I was more than honored because she is an amazing woman. And by the way, I don't know if you've been to Chinglish, but that's an amazing restaurant.
Yeah, you and I have talked about that. Again, opened the restaurant during the pandemic. Yeah, good for them.
Good for them. And they're doing well.
Yeah.
And it's well attended. And they give back too. They do a lot of, they had an event for the Metro Foundation.
That's right.
I mean, they have done so much to give back. And the food is amazing. It's really the cuisine of Hong Kong cuisine. Oh, food is amazing.
And it's where the old melting pot used to be, there in Boca Park.
That's right.
On that, what would they be, the southeast corner of Boca Park.
Yes.
And if you remember where Melting Pot was located, Chinglish is located in that location now.
That's correct.
So, yeah. And you and I talked about this, I think, in past shows when she first opened, but where did the name Chinglish came from? It was her mother spoke kind of a combination of Chinese and English, right? And they called it Chinglish, and so hence the name of the restaurant then.
It's a great name.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's a great name. And I told you when I did the Small Business Saturday, I'd never been there. And it was kind of deceiving, from outside. I didn't know what to expect because it's kind of dark on the outside. And I opened the door, and there was this beautiful wine bar, beautiful restaurant.
It is a beautiful
restaurant. So
restaurant.
It's very deceiving. Yeah. And then they have another part of that restaurant next to it that's a separate entity, and it's kosher Chinese food.
I saw that, a kosher food, and there's a deli associated with it, I think, too.
Well, it's all kosher food,
yeah.
And it's just amazing. So Kitty is, of course, Chinese, and Ken is kosher and Jewish. So that's kind of where that comes from.
So hence the blend of the two.
Absolutely,
I love it. All right,
yeah.
well, congratulations to Kitty for being one of the nominees for Women of Distinction, and wish her the very best at the restaurant there over in Ward 2. And then, Councilwoman, you were just passing out awards, I guess. You posted this on Facebook. You said, I had the opportunity to present Assemblywoman Irene Bustamante Adams with a certificate of recognition from the mayor and council members of Las Vegas for all her dedicated work as a leader in the legislature and her work at Workforce Connections One-Stop Career Center. Thank you, Debbie Isaacs with Unshakable, for joining us for lunch today to honor this great lady. And, it's always nice to give people the old phrase.
And she's been a great leader in our community. I served with her in the legislature in 2015. She is one of those leaders that just really wants to get things done. And I appreciate her so much and her leadership.
Well, and boy, the work that she's doing outside of the legislature from Workforce Connections, so vital right now.
Yes.
So many people who had lost jobs because of the pandemic, now to try to get them back into the workforce, get them connected with new opportunities. Vital right now, vital.
Right.
So good for her, and should let people know if you're trying to figure out career opportunities and paths. Maybe you're trying to switch careers. Workforce Connections is a great place to get some advice and some resources as far as what to do next.
And they also have resources for businesses.
Yeah, they sure do.
So I hope that people will, give them a call if they need anything, because they are more than willing to help.
Yeah, that's a great point, Councilwoman, because what they'll often do is connect a business needs people to do a certain job. They'll help find job candidates to go fill those positions then.
Right.
So it's great if you're looking for a job. It's great if you're an employer looking to hire people. Workforce Connections might be an opportunity for you. You'll help somebody and they'll help you as well. So, Councilwoman, and then I love this too. You posted this on Facebook. You said, I want to congratulate all the children who took part in today's Las Vegas Kids Triathlon. Now, I have to confess, I didn't know that there was such a thing as a kids triathlon. I knew that, a lot of adults are into triathlons, so I didn't know the kids were doing the same thing.
Well, over the summer, we did a dual-a-thon with the same group.
Wow.
And this triathlon was double the size. So
Wow.
It's good to get those kids out, doing something, working out. So it was amazing. And they were just, they went all the way from little kids to middle school kids. It was amazing.
So do they still do the same three things? They're going to run,
Yes.
bike, and swim? Is
That's
that
correct.
the idea?
That's
Wow,
correct.
wow. So now, and were they using some of our city facilities?
Oh yeah, this was at Veterans Memorial. Yes.
Very good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then they used the pool, and it looked like the parking lot there to ride bikes, and
Right.
and then had
That's
to run
exactly
as well. So.
what they did. Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's one way to stay
Fit.
Fit, exactly, and then also to kind of set that stage for the rest of your life
That's
about staying
correct.
fit and,
Yeah.
and being active and all of that.
Yeah.
So, big deal. And I got to say that, I never took part in a triathlon when
I
was
didn't
a
either,
kid,
but I did do track and all those
Yeah,
different
see,
things
well,
in
good for
school.
you, good for you.
But it's nice when you can participate
Yeah.
in like a triathlon. I think that's amazing.
Well, that was back on October 19th, so congratulations to all those kids. And then on October 16th, we really love when people do this. A great event with Get Outdoors Nevada, Meadows School, to do a major cleanup out at Kellogg's Air Park, which is basically at Washington and Buffalo, Washington and Durango.
Get Outdoors Nevada, what would we do without them? They are out there cleaning up the parks, helping to plant trees, always gathering volunteers for everything we need. So
That's an army of folks too, right there. Yeah,
that really is. So good for them. We're so lucky to have them.
That is a big complex. There's lots of soccer fields out there, dog parks. There's a tennis
it's huge.
complex.
It's huge.
It's a massive park. Big walking, running trail that goes around the
That's
entire
right.
facility.
It's one of our biggest parks.
It's huge, yeah. And I have to tell you that our grounds crews, city's grounds crews, do a wonderful job, but it's impossible for them to get to everything, like all those little bits of trash that blow into the shrubs or blow into the plants. Our volunteers get out there and clean all that stuff up. It's amazing.
It is.
And get all the rocks just where they're supposed to be, and yeah, it makes everything just glisten. And again, we really appreciate that kind of volunteerism. The city makes a huge difference.
It does. It does. And we're grateful for Outdoors Nevada.
We are. Get Outdoors Nevada. If you're interested in volunteering with them, go check out their website, because they always have events coming up.
They do.
Many are in the city of Las Vegas, which we love. And
a lot of students need, hours or credit for
Scouts
internship. Here you go.
Exactly.
This is a great place to do it.
That was exactly my point, is that if you need an opportunity to volunteer, Get Outdoors Nevada will get you connected. Having trouble finding them, Councilwoman's team will plug you right in with them, and
for sure,
we'll put you to work too at the city as well. We really need your help. So, well, Councilwoman, we are running low on time here, but we want to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Victoria Seaman, you can find her on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can also contact her just by picking up the phone. The number is 702-229-2420, or send her an email. Her address is ward2@lasvegasnevada.gov, and she or one of her great staff will get right back to you. So you guys field a lot of calls, and oftentimes what comes into your office isn't necessarily a city issue, but your staff is very great, all the city staff, about helping people find the resources that they need to go to. Well, that's a water district issue, or that's really more of a metro or a county issue. And your folks help navigate all of that and get everyone plugged into
That's
the
right.
right
And
resources.
we're always looking for small businesses in our ward to promote. So don't hesitate to call.
Talk about that too. Every Saturday you do Small Business Saturday. I love this segment. I've told you many times. As I learn about businesses within my own ward didn't even know existed.
Yeah. Well, I have danced. I have rock climbed.
I know.
I can't tell you everything that I've done.
You've had restaurants, cleaners,
art, yes,
a little of everything. I know.
And this, so just go on to our social media and you will be able to see all these different businesses. And we're so excited about this program because it's become so successful. And I really want, I don't care what kind of business you have. Like I said, I've rock climbed, I've sang, I've danced. I don't know how to sing, but I've sang. And I really want people to call us because we love doing this. We have a lot of fun with it. And again, it introduces businesses to the ward. I didn't know about most of these businesses that we featured, but this is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it's been a great addition, a great segment. And again, Councilwoman's point, if you are a small business owner and you'd like to have your business talked about on her social media, we want to hear from you. Small Business Saturdays. This is a wonderful feature. And again, contact her office, 702-229-2420 or ward2@lasvegasnevada.gov. And they'll feature your small business, which is great. It's got to be in Ward 2. That's one of the stipulations. Got to be in the city limits, got to be in Ward 2. Councilwoman will feature your business. And if you're just one of the residents out there, it's nice to just learn that, hey, there's a new business over here I had no idea was operating now.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's fun. Taking advantage of it. We talked about, it seemed like Chinglish was one of them. Speaking of Chinglish,
yes.
the usual place. I can't think of the name in Italian, but the restaurant.
Al Solito
Yeah,
Posto.
exactly.
Yes.
And
Oh, many restaurants.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have some good ones coming up in the future.
Yeah.
There's a great little place called the Martini,
Yeah.
which I see it all the time. I just never knew what it was, and it's a great place.
Yeah,
it's a great little neighborhood bar. You feel, and
It
the
is.
Pint across the street,
Exactly.
same thing.
Martini, great food in there. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. And but you've also featured spas and bridal shops.
Oh,
and,
the bridal shop
yeah.
was really key to Ward 2 because we just didn't have anything in Ward
Yeah.
2. And I've talked to many folks lately, and they were getting wedding dresses from there.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're able to feature all these wonderful businesses. And what's so nice about it is post-pandemic or right in the middle of the pandemic, these people opened.
Yeah. And
That's
kept going. Either
amazing.
they opened or they kept going
Yeah.
through all of this.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
We had
been
a
rough
spa
go.
do that opened, I think it was during the pandemic, right in Ward 2. So we're really excited.
So Small Business Saturdays, you'll enjoy this segment all the way around. And again, if you're a small business owner, hey, reach out to Councilwoman's office and they'll feature you on the show. So, well, Councilwoman, we are out of time here, but we want to tell everybody, please don't miss our next show beginning on November 25th with Ward 5 City Councilman Cedric Creer. You can now catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Also, watch for our QR code during the closing credits of this show and download to subscribe our newsletter. And don't forget, you can also watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.